was language, before names and systems, and the turning of history's great wheels, there was energy, silent, unseen, eternal, moving beneath the skin of matter, pulsing in the spaces between stars and thoughts. It does not belong to any one culture or creed. It is the source behind the source, and it lives in you. The ancients knew this. They saw the world not as solid and separate, but as an interconnected field of forces, each thought a ripple, each feeling a beacon. They did not merely believe in energy, they worked with it. They aligned temples with starlight. They breathed in rhythm with the earth. They trained their minds not to react, but to resonate. But as modern life grew louder, we forgot the subtle. In our pursuit of speed, success, and security, we turned outward and left our inner world untended. We were taught to chase goals instead of embody states, to master schedules instead of frequencies. Yet beneath it all, the old current still flows, unchanged, unbroken, waiting. This is your invitation to remember, to reawaken the truth that the quality of your energy shapes the fabric of your life, to see that you are not simply a body in a world. You are a field within a greater field, and that field responds not to your effort alone, but to your alignment. This journey is not about achieving more. It is about becoming aligned with what you truly are, a conduit for divine intelligence, a vessel of vibration, a creator of reality through resonance. Each part of this series will unveil a layer of this truth. You'll explore the ancient laws of attraction, the energetic cost of unconscious giving, the voice that commands the universe, and the mechanics of unseen influence. You'll learn to stop chasing and start transmitting, to speak not from fear, but with frequency, to trust the rhythms that call you inward, and to rise from within them. Reality is not a machine. It is a mirror, and once your inner light steadies, the world around you begins to reflect what was always possible. You've been running your whole life after dreams, lovers, validation, clarity, as if they exist just beyond the edge of your reach. The world told you to run faster, work harder, hustle longer, because the prize lies at the end of the chase. But what if the chase is the trap? What if the very act of chasing, of reaching from a place of lack, is what keeps your desires at a distance? This paradox sits at the heart of one of the most ancient and powerful principles of energetic life, the backwards law. The harder you try to grasp something, the more it slips away. The more you need it, the less you can align with it. This isn't mystical poetry. It's energetic truth. Your vibration, the unspoken signal of your inner state, is always broadcasting, and the universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. When you chase from fear, your signal says, "I do not have." And so life, like a faithful echo, says, "As you wish." Think of a still lake. Try to see your reflection while splashing furiously, and all you get is distortion. But when you're still, when your presence settles, the image becomes clear. Most people, unknowingly, live in energetic chaos. Their minds scream of desire, but their bodies hum with anxiety. They speak of abundance, but their breath trembles with scarcity. This incoherence blocks the flow. It creates friction. It turns their affirmations into noise and their rituals into rituals of resistance. But there's another way. It begins with embodiment. Not pretend until you succeed, but live as if you are already aligned. Speak as the one who already knows. Move as the one who already trusts. Not with arrogance, but with coherence. As a magnet draws iron by being what it is, not by effort, you begin to attract the life that matches your field shifts. The outcome starts to find you. What once seemed distant draws near. The path clears, not because reality changed, but because you did. The secret isn't about not wanting. Wanting is human. It's the fear behind the wanting that disrupts the signal. To activate your inner energy, begin with stillness, not passivity, but groundedness. Feel your desires, then release the desperation. Declare your intention, then return to center. Cultivate the feeling of already having, not as a fantasy, but as a frequency. This is how mystics pray, not to beg, but to align. This is how visionaries create, not by grinding, but by vibrating in harmony with the unseen architecture of outcomes. The truth is simple, though rarely easy. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you broadcast. The clearer your inner signal, the clearer the response. In this law of reversal, the wisdom is hidden. Stop pushing, start becoming, and let the universe, once again, begin to echo your essence. There is a tiredness no amount of rest can cure, a kind of exhaustion that seeps not from the body, but from the soul. You may have felt it, that quiet depletion after giving too much, too often, to too many who could never quite receive you fully. It is not the result of hard work alone. It is the erosion of your inner energy, your most sacred resource. This life force, known to mystics as prana, chi, ruach, or simply spirit, is the very current that animates your being. And though it cannot be seen, it is always being spent. Every conversation, every silent compromise, every moment you force a smile when your soul aches, these are transactions, invisible exchanges of energy. Most go unnoticed, but they add up, and eventually, if left unchecked, you awaken one day not as yourself, but as a ghost maintaining a shell. The truth is simple, yet rarely taught. Your energy is sacred, and it is under siege. This siege isn't always loud. It often hides in the subtle, the unread message that pulls your attention, the guilt that makes you say yes when your spirit whispers no, the belief that being available equals being loved. We live in a culture that praises burnout as devotion, availability as virtue, and exhaustion as the cost of success. But the deeper wisdom traditions taught something else. To preserve energy is to preserve your power. In ancient temples, priests and priestesses didn't rush to offer their presence. They cultivated it. Their energy was sacred currency, guarded by silence, ritual, and discernment. They knew what modern life has forgotten, that not all who reach for you deserve your frequency. To awaken your inner energy, you must begin by reclaiming what was once given away unconsciously. This means seeing yourself as a reservoir, not a faucet. You are not here to be drained. You are here to radiate. Ask yourself, where does your energy leak? Who or what do you give to that never gives back in spirit? What boundaries have dissolved beneath the weight of expectation? These leaks, though often wrapped in politeness, are spiritual theft. And the longer you allow them, the more fragmented your field becomes. But there is a remedy, and it begins with a single word. No. Not the no of resistance, but the no of reverence. A holy boundary that honors your essence. A refusal not born of fear, but of clarity. You begin to speak less, not out of shyness, but because your silence has become sacred. You no longer rush to explain yourself, because your peace is now prioritized over performance. You no longer linger in draining conversations, because you know your frequency cannot be replaced. And in that reclamation, something miraculous begins. Your energy returns, slowly at first, like a tide turning. But with time, your presence becomes potent again. Your clarity sharpens. You feel yourself come back into your body, your breath, your boundaries. This is not selfishness. It is energetic sovereignty. You are not here to maintain everyone else's comfort. You are here to steward your sacred force so that when you do give, it comes from overflow, not obligation. To control the power that shapes your reality, you must first guard the gate. Let your energy be a temple, and let every interaction be filtered through this truth. If it costs your peace, it is too expensive. Most speak just to be heard, but few understand they are shaping worlds with every word. You've heard it before. Words have power. But what if that wasn't just a metaphor? What if your voice, the tone, the emotion, the vibration behind your words, was an instrument as precise and potent as the bow of a violin or the chisel of a sculptor? Ancient mystics didn't use language casually. They knew that the spoken word is vibration, and vibration is the medium through which form emerges. The universe, in its primordial moments, was not built with hands. It was spoken into being. Let there be light. Creation begins with a sound, and sound, aligned with intention, becomes a command. This is the forgotten magic of your voice. Every time you speak, you are casting a spell, either toward harmony or chaos. Your words are not idle. They encode your beliefs, amplify your emotions, and broadcast your vibration into the invisible architecture of reality. Yet most people speak from fear. They beg for abundance while feeling scarcity. They ask for love while rooted in self-doubt. And so, the universe responds, not to the request, but to the signal. Mismatched intention creates static. The message becomes lost in noise. But when your thought, word, and emotion are coherent, the power of your voice becomes undeniable. It becomes law. To use your voice consciously is not to yell louder. It is to speak with clarity, frequency, and focus. When you do, the field around you begins to shift. Molecules arrange, doors open, timelines bend. Not because you're demanding, but because you're aligned. This is not fantasy. This is energetic physics. Think of your voice as a tuning fork. When you speak in harmony with your true self, your vision, your feeling, your purpose, you resonate. And resonance draws reality into formation like iron filings to a magnet. Emotion is the amplifier. The more charged your words, the more force they carry. That's why words spoken in anger can wound deeper than knives, and words spoken in love can heal wounds no medicine can reach. So pause, feel, then speak. Ask, is my voice aligned with what I believe or with what I fear? Those walking the spiritual path often fall into the trap of silence, not from wisdom, but from fear of being misunderstood. But sacred speech is not about speaking more or less. It's about speaking from soul. Let your voice be clean. Let it be intentional. Let it carry the tone of the future you are calling in, not the past you are running from. And when you speak, do so not to convince the world, but to code it. Every syllable a brushstroke, every phrase a proclamation. Not a wish, but a knowing. You are not just here to describe life. You are here to declare it into form. So speak, slowly, boldly, wisely, and let the world be shaped in the image of your inner truth. Most people live in reaction to schedules, to circumstance, to the world's noise. They believe that life happens to them, that reality is a rigid machine governed by rules and randomness. But what if this is a grand illusion? What if life doesn't happen to you, but through you? Beneath the surface of this visible world lies a vast and invisible structure, what ancient mystics called the ether. physicists call the quantum field. This field is not passive, it is responsive. It is not outside of you, it is you. Everything in the universe exists as potential until it is observed, chosen, or summoned. And what collapses that potential into form? Consciousness. This is where the metaphysical meets the mechanical. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not private echoes inside your mind. They are commands sent into the quantum field. Like ripples in water, they move outward and shape reality, not through brute force, but through energetic resonance. You are always broadcasting, even in silence, even in stillness. Your field is speaking. Your nervous system hums. Your breath sends messages. Your attention becomes the tuning dial of creation. Most people try to change their life by changing externals, jobs, relationships, routines. But the field doesn't respond to your hustle. It responds to your state. If your inner world is cloudy with fear, no affirmation can override that vibration. If your body is tight with resistance, no visualization can bypass that tension. But when you align, when your thought, emotion, and presence resonate, reality adjusts. This is the law of reflection. The outer world is a mirror. It does not show you what you desire. It shows you what you broadcast. Wanting isn't enough. You must become the match to what you seek. Your goals are not lighthouses you sail toward. They are frequencies you must emit. This means the work is inward, but it is not passive. It is deeply intentional. It is the act of becoming the field you want to enter, raising your vibration, not by pretending to be positive, but by honestly observing where your energy is and guiding it back into coherence. This starts with presence, noticing the stories running your mind, the tension gripping your gut, the breath patterns you've normalized. Each one is a dial, a setting, a frequency. Shift them, and you shift the signal. Ancient initiates in Egypt, Greece, and esoteric orders like Freemasonry understood this. Their temples weren't built for worship. They were built to amplify resonance. Sacred architecture wasn't symbolic. It was functional. It tuned the field. You are no different. Your body is a temple. Your breath is an instrument. Your mind is an altar of creation. And when all three are in harmony, your presence becomes magnetic. The field bends to you. This is not about perfection. It's about alignment, about coherence, about recognizing that your vibration is not random. It is sculpted. And once you begin sculpting with awareness, your life becomes a canvas, not a cage. You are not here to chase certainty. You are here to radiate frequency and let reality respond. What if your greatest strength wasn't in how hard you hold on, but in how deeply you let go? This is the final secret of inner energy. Surrender is not defeat. It is command. Most are taught that control brings safety, that planning, pushing, and predicting will earn them peace. But the soul does not thrive in control. It thrives in connection, in listening, responding, and flowing with the deeper currents of life. When your energy is aligned, the need for control begins to dissolve. You no longer push outcomes into being. You become the frequency that calls them in. This surrender is not passivity. It is supreme presence. It is the wisdom to recognize when effort becomes resistance. It is the strength to stop gripping the vine and let gravity carry you down the right path. It is the ability to see that your most powerful moments arise not from force, but from trust. Imagine the seed underground. It does not climb to the surface by willpower. It is pulled by light. So too, your destiny is not summoned by stress. It is drawn by your vibration. Every time time you release the obsessive need to manage every detail, you create space for miracles. You move from micromanagement to magnetism. You trade exhaustion for embodiment. You become the still center in a turning world, and from that center, reality recalibrates. You may have noticed this already. Moments when you gave up, only to receive. When you stopped chasing, and what you desired arrived. These are not accidents. They are the sacred rhythms of energy, teaching you that receptivity is a creative act. The ancient traditions understood this. Fasting was not just for purification. It was a practice in restraint, in trust, in letting go of the material to make space for the divine. Solitude was not loneliness. It was energetic insulation, a cocoon where transformation brewed. The awakened soul is not loud. It is luminous. It does not fight for power. It radiates it. And in that quiet radiance, everything changes. You have always held the key, not outside, in another book or person or strategy, but inside, in your vibration, your focus, your sacred presence. To awaken your inner energy is not to add more. It is to remove what was never yours: fear, noise, urgency, and doubt. It is to peel back the illusion and discover that you are not separate from the universe. You are the universe, expressing itself through form. You are the breath between thoughts, the stillness behind movement, the signal beneath the noise. And now you remember. Remember that your thoughts are not random. They are architects. Your emotions are not weaknesses. They are conductors. Your presence is not passive. It is a force field. You are not here to chase what you desire. You are here to become it. Let your words be sacred. Let your energy be coherent. Let your surrender be intentional. And watch as reality reshapes itself around your resonance. This is not magic. This is law. This is not fiction. This is remembrance. The universe has always listened. Now you are finally speaking in its language. Welcome back to the garden. Welcome back to your power.